This is a video tutorial for a VAT class. I'm going to go through how Mrs. Gus wants you to create the final project for the Word project, which is called the Mash It, or was called the Mash It. And that's where you combine one of your photos from your scavenger hunt, or it can be an older photo with what you've learned how to illustrate words in Illustrator. So you begin by finding a photo. Again, you can use the words from your scavenger hunt or an old photo, but the photo has to follow good rules of photography, rule of thirds, light and shadow, that kind of thing. I had this photo, but I wanted to edit it, so I took it into Be Funky, which we learned how to do in class, and I edited it, so it's right here. It's got a little bit of a darker background. We talked about integrating the word in the positive space, which is on the thing, or the negative space, which is around the thing, and I feel like it would be a better use of the negative space to do the word spin, and I wanted that to be a darker background. So I did that all in Drive. I'm going to download it. If you did that on your own and saved in your H drive, then you're good to go. You're going to open up Illustrator, and you're going to File, New, name it whatever you want to name it, and I like to put the word that I'm designing in the name so remember what it looks like. You're going to make sure inches for units and 6x4 for your height and width. Just start there. Hit OK, and there's my file. I'm going to file Place My Picture, and you can find your picture if you drop down and find your name. If you downloaded it, it should be in your download folder under your name. And you should probably only just have those pictures in there. So there's mine. Double click and it goes in. It's really big, so hold down Alt and zoom out. Hold down Shift then and shrink your photo down so it would fit in this space. Now I made a horizontal page and I have a vertical picture. So I can change directions with this button here. That's your artboard tool. Click that, you get your artboard activated. Instead of dragging, I'm just going to go right up here and change to a vertical 4x6. I get out of that by going to the black arrow, and then I can shrink my photo even more. It is absolutely okay if you have white space left over. We'll get rid of that at the end. So just go ahead and shrink your photo in. And now you start designing, but you've got some things to take care of. First of all, this photo is a placed photo, meaning you have a blue X across the picture. So let's click on the photo. If you see the blue X, go to this embed button at the top and get rid of that. Let's then go over to our layer palette. That's your diamond on top of diamond. And we're going to lock the layer with the photo right there in the empty space. Now we can't do anything, so we need to add a new layer. That's the little page with the corner folded over, create new layer. Now you have a layer to design. You guys learned how to design in the Word unit where you type your word. Go ahead and hold down Shift with your black arrow, make it bigger. Pick your font. And you start to, once you've created outlines, you start to do things to the word and figure out how you want to integrate it into your design. I'm going to pause and do all my designing, and then I'll come back and show you a couple of things. All right, so I found my font and I created outlines, and I use my eyedropper tool to make my words look like the colors within my design. So to do that, I isolated. I went to the eyedropper tool and I found the color that I wanted. So I just did that one at a time. Now I think what I'm going to do is ungroup, right click, ungroup my letters, and start to place them where I want them to be. So the great thing about having the photo locked is I can't do anything to it. So I can drag over these, move these around. As I see fit. Now I feel like that's the right colors, but it's a little stark for what I want the design to be. So I'm going to play with how to blend in those letters. And I can do that with opacity up here at the top to make them a little bit see-through, but they're going to lose some of the intensity of their color, which I don't hate. I can also do that with blend modes. Oops, sorry about that. So I'm going to take these both back to regular opacity and show you blend modes. Blend modes are over here in your transparency, and it says right here normal. We did this in Photoshop, so you can scroll through these and see what they look like. these different blend modes. Maybe you come across something that you like. It's a little fun, a little more integrated. So I think for the sake of just sort of ending the demo, I'm going to go with this. I'm going to do an Alt drag for copy, and then I'm going to enlarge it. So it's doing some kind of fun things. But that's really the point of this whole exercise, is to play with what you guys already know and see what you can do to make it, you know, make it look unique, make it look interesting, make it look like it's communicating that word better. But always remembering what it is that you're focusing on. Are you trying to focus on the photo? Are you trying to focus on the word? Where is the word? How much of the word can you read? You know, what else? What can you do with everything you've learned about Illustrator words to reinforce what is happening in the photo? Last thing I'm going to point out is if you want to get rid of this white space when you're done, you go back to your artboard button and you drag in this white space to get rid of it. And then you're going to save both as an Illustrator file. So file, save as, head to your H drive. Save it as Illustrator, save, save, save. And then if you're truly done, you're going to save it as a JPEG file. Whoa, it's thinking. You're going to save it as a JPEG file by going to File, Save for Web, saving as a high-res JPEG. Oop, I missed a little part, but you guys remember that. That way you're going to have two versions, one for editing, should you want to edit in the future, and one for your portfolio.